Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Glad you could join me today. We are replacing the cab mounts on this Ford F350 2006 model. Customer supplied the cab mounts. They are the Daystar brand. I have not heard of them, but he supplied them. We're going to put them in. So this will probably be part one of two parts of this video. We're going to do front end work on this thing to the tune of replacing everything but the axle and one little link. So stay tuned, because this should be a fairly interesting video. Contact. So what we have here is we have cab mounts that are wore out pretty bad. I've seen worse, but this one's pretty bad. You can see the cab does not line up anymore. So the mount back here, up underneath here, is pretty much steel on steel. There's no rubber in between there anymore. All of the cab mount bolts for this truck come down from the top, so we're going to have to remove or lift up this carpet. And I mean, this is not carpet, this is vinyl floor. They say, I think the instructions say you have to remove this rear seat. I don't usually. I usually take this piece out here, and then you can pull this carpet back or vinyl floor back and get to those. There's another one here, then there's another set up here, and the driver's floor mat all the way up here in the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of that stuff loosened up. We'll gain access to these bolts. There's usually plugs in the cab that you'll have to pull out. Not very hard. So I've already went ahead and sprayed penetrating oil on the bottom side of these because Illinois and rust. So we'll get these pulled out. I think we got to pull this trim out here. We may have to pull this loose as well. I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But yeah, we're going to gain access to that, and then I'll come back and show you guys what I've done. All right, as you can see, we've got our carpet moved up. This thing actually has a carpet with a vinyl floor installed on top of it. So this is a farm truck, so it gets used as it was designed. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this out of here. I'll get that out. 15/16 up front here, and I think I've got room for my impactor. And we're gonna go ahead and see if we can remove this. And that's how that works. That thing's got Loctite on it. So I think on the older ones you'll still have that bolt coming in from the inside, but I believe, don't quote me on this, and I didn't do my research, but on some of them, the bolt actually comes up from the bottom, I believe. So yours may not be exactly like this, but it's the same concept. Then on this one here, I usually come up from the bottom here, and I will reach in underneath there. I also loosen the seat belt and come up in here, and as you can see, the plug is right back here. So get yourself a ratchet socket. Now obviously an easier way would be to take this off and get down in there, and if you have to, you have to, but usually I can stretch that enough without damaging anything to get that out of there. So we're going to do that on those, And then this back here, I've taken this box out back here. That's going to be this thing right here. There's 3 bolts that hold this down. One here, which is going to be on the, this thing sets in like this. This end over here is going to be the driver's side. And there's a bolt there, a bolt there, and a bolt there. They use 8mm sockets. Take that out. Now you can gain access to, by pulling this up, gain access to the bolt right there. Same on the other side. Now the ones that are a little bit challenging are the ones up front here, because those are right up in here. And I think on this one here, we might be able to get to it from the bottom and the top, but that one will thread through the frame. Ah, come on. Really? Popping the hood. But that'll thread through the, come up from the bolt comes up from the bottom and it goes in through the tube. And I'll show you guys when I get to that point, but we'll take those loose. But you also have to remove a nut from the top side down first. That has to come out first because that bolt threads through and then the nut comes down from the top and basically locks the two together. Popping the hood, maybe. There we go. So I've found that what works best on these is we'll go right down through there and we can get to that nut that's down there with a very long extension. So we're gonna do that as well over here, and I'll bring you along for that when we get to that point. But I wanted to show you guys that. So I'm gonna go ahead, get all these bolts out of here. I think that's gonna be boring, plus it's gonna be hard for me to record and do this thing at the same time. So I'll be back once I get all of these out, then I'll show you how I take those out up there. We've got all the other bolts out. The only 2 that we've got left are these up front here. So as you can see, this is what I have set up, and that's an 18mm, takes an 18mm socket. I use the deep well. I pulled the air filter out of here, so I've got access. Now we will just commence to undoing this. Little impact action here, more steam, more speed. Come on. Now we'll get that out of there. Now we also have to undo the bolt from the bottom because it is threaded into the body mount. So let's get this off of here. Ouch! Tight fit. My fat hands can't hardly get down through there. All right, there's that one. Now we'll come over here to the other side. And I might also note that inside the cab, those other bolts, oh, we got a dauber nest on that one, and we're gonna do away with that. But on the Ford, for some reason, decided it'd be wise to use 15/16 on the driver's side for bolt heads, and then on the passenger side, let's go ahead with 13/16. Why? I don't know. It's a good question. I asked the same question. I don't know if you guys asked it, but I did. Okay. Get that loose. All right. Now, let's see if I can get my fat little arms down there. We got it. All right. Now, we'll have to come up from below and come up through the frame and undo the bolt. As we can see, this one has holes to gain access. So I think we should be able to, no we won't. We'll have to, we are gonna have to take the bumper off so we can get that mount out of there. I forgot about that. Well, that's not gonna be too bad. Actually, we might be able to get these hooks out of here, and then we can get in through there and pull that out of there. Because we need to go right in through there to pull that mount out. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take this hook loose, and then we can get up in there, get that bolt and all that stuff out of there. So cross everything you have two of that we can do that, because I don't really want to pull this bumper off. It's not that bad. We'll do it if we have to, but I don't really want to. So let's get these 3 bolts out to get that thing out of there, and we'll see if that works for us. All right, so we were able to get these hooks out of here without taking the front bumper off. Now the next problem is we're gonna have to reach in there, separate that, which I did. Flashlight gravity. As you can see, that's separated there. Then we're gonna have to go fishing and fish that thing out through this hole here, which I believe we can do. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think we can. I'm not sure. I hope so. I don't really want to pull this bumper off of here. Anyway, we're gonna get those out of there. We're gonna raise this cab up just a little bit. It only needs to go up some. And then we're gonna start taking these mounts apart. Some of these underneath here require us to possibly, these may not come apart. So what I've done, and it seems to work pretty good, is take a, I believe it's a 7/8 drill bit, and we'll drill right up through there, and that will break that out of there, and then those things will just come right apart. So all we need is to get this thing up high enough, the cab up high enough, to get everything out from in between there. So let's get started on that and see if we can get those things switched out. We're in the home stretch, I believe. On these front mounts here, technically you're supposed to take this bumper off of here, but I'll show you how I did it on the other side, and hopefully it'll work on this side. Not sure, but it is like very close to coming out of there like this. There's not much left there. You can't tip that thing like that and get it out, but here's what you can do. Here's what I did on the other side, and it worked. So let's see if we can duplicate it. Come in here, we'll pry this rubber piece off of the steel piece there, because on the new one I'd take it off, take the bumper off gladly if, you know, if we were putting Ford body mounts back on, but we're not. So on the new one you can pretty easily get these things up in there without removing the bumper. So I really don't want to remove the bumper if I don't have to. So this is how I did it on the other side. So we'll go ahead, get that steel piece out of there. Come on, please come off of there. So we will do this. Actually, no, it was the other way. Like such. Nope. Okay, how did I do it? I think I did it like this. And then, no, I didn't. How did I do it? Please come out of there. Like this. Oh, yeah. Just like this. Now, we need to pry against here. Ouch, ouch, finger. Ouch, ouch, finger. And we'll pry this out of here. Get yourself a good place to pry. Oh, this one's not wanting to bend like the other one did. The other one bent right away. Let me see here. Okay, like this. Oh, maybe. Hope you guys can still see there. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Now, this, we can go up in there, get that rubber piece out of there if I don't knock it in there too far. There we go. Now, that's out of there. Okay, so we've got the front ones out of there now. And as you can see, I've lifted the cab enough to be able to get those rubber mounts out of there. With my lift, I did that. So let's go ahead and see if we can get these other mounts apart here. Like I was saying, that's the kind of the hardest part here, is getting these things apart because they go up inside each other there. So we'll see. If not, if I can't get them real quick, we're just going to drill this out of here and that'll come right off. Okay, so all of the rubber mounts are out of there. As you can see, I was going to show you guys here how I did it. I didn't do it on camera because it's kind of a pain in the neck to do, but it's easier than trying to get these things apart any other way, because a lot of times that piece is froze up in there. There's, as you can see, those go together just kind of like that. They go inside each other and they get rusted together, and it's almost impossible to get them apart. So this idea was given to me by one of my friends who's also in the auto industry. He's not on Facebook or YouTube. However, Gingrich Repair, thank you. You take a 3/4 inch bit, and this is actually up on the frame like this. So this part would be above the frame, in between the frame and the cab. Then this is on the bottom, and you just drill essentially right up through here, and a 3/4 inch will get you up inside this with without actually drilling into this. And I mean, it wouldn't hurt if you want to drill up into there. That doesn't hurt. It just takes a lot more drilling and more force. So what you do is you take this, drill it up. You'll see where, when you start to get to the point where you see rust, then you just break these apart with a pry bar. Simple, easy, quick, much easier than trying to spread them apart or get them apart with trying to get them to slide apart, because it's almost impossible. So we are ready to get these up in there. Now, they did send new bolts along. However, I don't really like these bolts too well, because they use a flat washer, and they're really not the style of bolt that needs to go in there, because one of them has a great big shoulder, and I don't think any of these have it. I will show you that over on the other side, the rear, I believe, or maybe it's this side. The bolt that goes down in here, yeah, it's this one. That has that centering piece there, and none of the others do. So I don't like to use the new bolts that come along. I think I might have used a kit similar to this before, and but anyway, they had the same bolts, so I will reuse these. There's no reason why we can't. I'll put a little blue Loctite on there, tighten them down. They should be good to go. So the cab did move a little forward whenever I lifted it up, so I'm gonna have to get the thing out of park, put it in neutral, and get the thing centered back, the frame centered again. So but yeah, it's just put everything back together, and it should go fairly well, I think. I say that and I'm gonna regret that, but yeah, I think it should do okay. Now the front on these, I'm not sure how well I like it, but the front one here doesn't have the threads in here. So according to the kit, do a little research here. 3305, yeah, this one goes up on the top. Okay, yeah, so they're they're not installing it the way Ford did from the factory, which is there's threads in this part as well. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, so I guess we'll put this back together and hope for the best. I don't know. We'll go ahead and get everything on the frame, or all the rubber mounts on the frame here, and before we set everything down. Sorry, you guys are kind of getting second-rate views here. Okay, I'm gonna have to go up just a little bit higher. You don't want to go too high because there's still hoses and things hooked up here, so let's not go too high. But that just sets in there like that. And actually the kit wants you to reuse the old cab mount bolts for the front here. So we're just gonna reuse them all. All right, see here. Okay, there's that. Now we'll have to do a combination of, I believe, of getting the bolt fed up through here and also getting the mount fed in through there, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe we can actually fit it up through there. I don't think so. I think we'll have to feed it in the front there. I'm thinking out loud. All right, we've got the cab set back down on top of these mounts. I have to be home tonight here in about 10 minutes, so I gotta get headed home. So we're going to continue this in the morning, but so far it's been going fairly well. We've got all these other bolts started. Everything is lined up perfect, as good as we're gonna get it. And yeah, tomorrow we'll start tightening everything down and get this thing back in line. But we're headed home. I'm gonna restart in the morning, and let's put our lights away. I'm tired. I want to get home. I need to get home. So let's gather things up. We'll get headed home, and we'll be back in the morning for more adventures on this truck. I will catch you all in the morning. Good night. Well, it's the next day. I've got these cab mounts all put back in, all tightened down, torqued down. This cab sets up probably a good, I would say about a ½ inch higher than it did before. If you guys remember, I believe bed lined up fairly well. Well, now the cab is higher than the bed here. So, and you can tell that it sets higher just by the way it is. So we've got all the tow hooks put back in. Getting those mounts in this frame rail was not fun at all. I would rather sit in a cold bucket of ice than do that by myself again. Somebody to help you would make this job go way better, but we got it. That's the main thing. I don't think I threw any wrenches, but it got close. So we've got our trim work put back in here. Everything's put back together. The seat belt's put back together. This is all put back. I gave him his old stuff here. There's a few pieces left over. I don't know. This is for, this one here is for a extra, I guess. I don't remember why they sent that extra. Oh, they sent 8, and they also sent 8 of these right here, which, yeah, don't use all 8. Anyway, yeah, I hope this was somewhat informational. I don't know. I know I kind of skipped through everything. I didn't show you guys everything. Again, Like I've said in previous videos, I don't like to have my videos go over 20 to 25 minutes. And I know that if I were to record everything, it would turn into an hour. And I don't have the personality or the ability to narrate like Rain Man Ray, who has hour-long videos and hundreds of thousands of views. He's good at it. Go watch him. Check him out. He's a good man. He's got he's a good channel to watch. So I'm not that good yet, maybe someday, but not as of yet. So I'm going to keep my videos at 20 to 25 minutes. Let me know down in the comments if you want them to be longer, if you want more detail. But I felt like what I've got here is what might be good information. Now, a few things you want to double check on this when you do these cab mounts is you want to make sure that your bed and your cab line up, because this cab can move side to side. And ask me how I know. You don't want to tighten this all down and then come out here and this side is out to the side here about yay far. It's not quite that far, but it's like, you know, something about like that. So get it centered on the frame before you tighten everything down, and then you want to tighten it down here, that corner, that corner, that corner, center, go across, kind of get it an even, like, so you don't like tighten to one side and it does this. You want to bring it down as even as possible. The other thing you want to do, make sure that you torque these things down. Again, ask me how I know. I'm just glad that they had extra of these, because if not, I'm pretty sure I would have thrown wrenches. Yeah, it just split right down the center there. Again, I'm a little on the fence about the quality of this kit, but I mean, I'm sure there's worse out there, but I do know that S&B is a good kit, and I like those. So if you want one of these, go ahead, buy one. It's to me, it feels cheaper than the S&B, and I believe the S&B is also a smoother ride. So, but it's also more expensive. Okay, enough rambling. I hope this video was informational for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys are still here, I really want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Hoss thanks you, right? Make sure you tap that like button. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. If you didn't like it, feel free to let me know about that. If you did like it, yeah, you can go ahead and do that as well. Sure appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Till the next time, I will catch you all later. Stay tuned for part 2.